This is everything you need to think about before starting your clothing brand in 2025. This is not about the fluff, not about the get-rich-quick advice, just the real, doable steps that you can take to help you bring your vision to life, as well as if you've been wondering if this is the path for you, if you're really interested in starting your own fashion brand this year, then these are some things that you should take the time to think about, because I feel that a lot of founders out there and a lot of the content out there right now is just people showing all the good stuff and all the orders coming in, and not really about the struggle and the work that it takes for you to get to this stage. So yeah, I'm hoping that this video will help shed some light on that side of the business, as well as the things and questions that you should consider in order to help you make a proper educated decision on whether or not this is the path that you wanting to take. So I'll walk you through everything from the mindset shifts, the tools that you will need, and even the strategies that you can implement and use in your own brand. And no, you don't need a fashion degree. You just need a vision, action, and the right information, which we will cover. So with that said, let's get into it. Hi friends and future founders. Today's video is for anyone who's interested in or is looking for more information on what you need in order to really start your own clothing brand in 2025. So if you're trying to see if this is the path that you're willing to take, then stick around, because I hope that this video will provide you with a lot of valuable insight in order to help you make a better decision. So before we dive into the name ideas, logo ideas, let's zoom out. Because first you have to ask yourself, why are you really doing this? Is it because you noticed a gap in the market? Like maybe it's the fact that no one has been able to make basics that actually fit you. Or maybe you're like me and been wanting to build a brand that reflects your identity. Something elevated, aspirational, timeless. Now there's no wrong reason. Everyone's reasons for venturing into starting a brand can be entirely, completely different. But knowing your why will help you stay grounded when things get hard. And spoiler alert, they will. Your why becomes the filter you use for everything. Your designs, your messaging, even how you show up online. Now I'm no expert, but I would say that if you're starting a brand just to make it big, or you're just chasing a big paycheck, I think many founders out there would agree with me that that is not the right route to go down. Because if you're not truly passionate about what you create and the brand that you build, and you're only doing it for materialistic reasons, you will be able to ground yourself and remember why you started in the first place. Your why will carry you through everything. Now the next step, which I think is equally important, is to understand the market that you're targeting. Now a lot of people skip this step and just jump straight into packaging and then wonder why no one is buying their product. So to start, you should consider who is your ideal customer. What brands do they already shop? What are they not finding that you can provide? And nowadays, research is so readily available. You can literally just Google, ChatGPT, scroll TikTok or Reddit. You can even check out reviews of the brands that you admire. What are people loving, complaining for, asking more of? The goal here is to kind of define your niche and your target audience. You have to have a good product that people will see value in. So I would say that these first two steps are definitely worth spending a lot of your time on in order to ensure that moving forward, it's much easier for you once you have nailed your foundation. Now, this next step is something that I think most people don't really think about, which is picking a business model that matches what your needs are. So let's break down a few common options. Now, I think that when most people think about starting their own clothing brand, they immediately go into thinking of the custom cut and sew method, which is basically you design from scratch and manufacture your own pieces. And this is a great method. It allows for full creative freedom and control and an entirely original product, which is the route that I'm going through because, well, I think if you've seen my previous video, then you would kind of understand why I chose this route. But it is definitely much higher risk, higher cost, and longer timelines. So if this is not something that you're looking for, then there's actually much more options out there for you that I feel that that I feel like most people don't really know about. So I'm here to shed some light on that. So firstly, if you're not into the whole custom cut and sew production timeline, you can consider print on demand, which is great for beginners. You basically upload your designs and the print on demand platform handles everything else. One great example of this is Printify, and no, I have nothing to do with them, they don't even know I exist, but I just think that this is a great resource and something that I wish I had known before I started, and it can possibly help a lot of you guys make an educated decision. So yes, basically a print on demand platform. You just upload your design and they will have a lot of these blanks or products that you can print your designs on. So even if you're a product business, they have things on there like t-shirts, sweaters, notebooks, mugs, bottles, and I mean that I'm pretty sure there are much more, but those are just what I remember off the top of my head from seeing them the last time. So you basically just upload a picture of your design and then you make a listing. So whenever someone orders, Printify or the print on demand platform that you're using will take in those orders. They will manufacture your design made to order. So if there's only one order going through or 10 orders going through, they will only make that specific amount for that order. This means there's no extra inventory, there's no risk at all because you're not spending any money, there's no upfront cost. And yeah, you just make your listing, and when people order your listing, Printify or the print on demand platform just helps you fulfill your orders. And then from there, from the money that they collect from your customer, they take a portion of it and then you get to keep the rest. So yeah, you don't need any inventory, there's no risk, don't need any upfront capital because everything is handled by the platform. So this is a great option if you're just starting out and you're looking for something quick and you have no space to store any inventory, but you kind of just want to test your product or your idea or your design, then this is a great option. But I would say that there of course are downsides to it, just like there are many upsides to it. So the downsides I would say is that there's limited control over the material or the fit, and obviously you have less creative freedom over the packaging and the distribution because everything is handled by your print on demand platform. But yes, I think as a starting point and for beginners, I think this is a great option that you can consider, and I'll leave a link down below. Once again, not sponsored by Printify or anyone, but I'll leave a link down below if you'd like more information on this. Now the second, also not really talked about method of producing is wholesale or private labeling. Now, even though this is not really talked about openly, it's actually used by a lot of brands out there, I would say. I'm not going to name names, but you know how sometimes when you go into one store and then you see this dress and you're like, wait, this looks familiar, I'm pretty sure I've seen it in this other store. Yeah, that's basically what white labeling is basically you have a piece of clothing that you can buy off a manufacturer and you just put your label on it. So a lot of brands do this, which is why sometimes you may see very similar pieces but they're being sold by different brands. And another way of looking at this is also by using blanks, which is what a lot of streetwear brands use, which is basically just a blank t-shirt that already has its own measurements and size charts, and you are free to put your own logo and customize it. So you work with a supplier who already makes these clothings. You customize, add your logo, your branding, and you order in bulk. So for this method, it's more of a mid-level investment, but you get more brand control because in the end, if you're just using like a blank t-shirt, you still are able to customize the visuals, the graphics that go on it. It's just that maybe the size and the fit of the t-shirt is not something that you can 100% customize because that is dependent on the manufacturer that already makes them. And that would also mean that the fit of the t-shirt itself would be similar to other brands who are also using the same blank, which is, I mean, it's not a big deal, right? Like how many different ways are there to fit a t-shirt? But it is something to consider if you're looking into this method of manufacturing. So the downside for this is that you definitely need more capital upfront as compared to the print-on-demand route of manufacturing, because typically these manufacturers would require would require you to place a minimum order quantity. And then the last method is what I mentioned before, which is the cut and sew custom manufacturing method, which is basically designing and manufacturing your own pieces. So for this, you get full creative freedom and 100% original product, but it's a higher risk, higher cost, longer timelines, and you definitely do need to have some design experience. There's no one best model, it's just what works right for you. So you can definitely just pick the model that best fits your vision and your current resources, and you can always evolve later. There are tons of resources out there to help you start your clothing brand, so do not be intimidated by such high minimum order quantities or worrying that your skill is very much lacking, because don't worry, it doesn't need to be perfect in the start. You just have to make your move and you will evolve along the way. Next comes all the stuff that you might not have thought about that you would need in order to start a clothing brand. And in my opinion, these are definitely not as fun as like vision boarding, mood boarding, thinking about the packaging or my designs. At least in my opinion, these are just the not fun stuff that you might not have thought about. And the first one of these is building your brand identity. And no, I don't just mean a logo. And this is more than just picking a cute font and a trendy name. Your brand is literally the whole vibe. And here are some questions that you can think about if you're just starting. So what does your brand stand for? How do you want people to feel when they wear your products? What 3 words describe your ideal brand? From there, you can start by creating a mood board. You can think of the color palettes, your brand voice, even texture preferences. And once you have this foundation, your visual identity like your name, logo, Instagram feed, packaging, all the more fun stuff comes much easier. Now this is just a very brief video, just giving you an overview of what you need to think about, so I'm not going to dive really deep into it, but I did talk a little bit about brand identity and how to come up with your very own unique voice. So I'll leave that video up somewhere up here if you want to go and check it out. That video dives much deeper into all the specifics that you might be curious. So yeah, you can check it out if you're interested. And the next overview that I'm going to talk about that I would like you to maybe have more of a think on is to design your first product with purpose. Now there are so many trends out there and I really love most of them. So if you're looking to create a product business that is kind of chasing trends and is really trendy and you're always looking to innovate and come up with new products, then that's great. But I would say that for the most part, having a trend-led business requires a lot of brain work, a lot of flexibility, and you need to really pivot quickly. So you should ask yourself, what's your first product that you're really hoping to make an impact with? What's the hero item of your collection? It could be literally just a basic white tank with actual structure, an elevated lounge set with intentional details, or a unique accessory that reflects your brand values. You can sketch it, look for different references, and describe how it reflects your brand mission. You could even DIY a sample with clothes that you already own and combine them in something that you wish existed. Remember, you don't need to launch with 10 different designs. One great product that tells your story is much greater than 10 meh ones. Next, into the more technical details, you most probably will need a tech pack. And a tech pack might sound scary, which honestly it kind of is, because I'm in the process of making my very own tech packs right now, and I can tell you that they are a lot of work and also incredibly stressful, because it's like if you miss out one detail, then possibly the whole garment could end up totally different from what you imagine. And yeah, it might sound scary, but you don't have to overcomplicate it. It's just basically a document that includes your sketch, your mock-ups of the product, any notes on fabric, trim, sizing, fit details, your inspiration images, your mood boards, and your measurements. You don't need to overcomplicate making it. You can make it on Canva, Notion, or even just a Google Doc. The goal here is to visually and clearly communicate your idea when you approach a manufacturer. And if you don't have any design skills, or you're just very worried about wanting to get this 100% right, you can always hire a freelance tech pack designer and just work with them on bringing your vision to life. Or I actually also left a tip on this video somewhere up here, which goes much into details too about creating your own tech packs and finding a manufacturer. So yeah, if you're interested and are curious about how you can get a tech pack done, if you have no design experience, you can check out this video. But yes, leading on to the next point, which is sourcing a manufacturer. And this part can be very frustrating, and honestly, I'm still on my own journey of figuring out which manufacturer is right for me. I'm not sure if the video is uploaded yet, but I've basically shared my story about how I've spent weeks looking for a manufacturer and I finally settled on one. But after I made the deposit and the payment, they've kind of just not been replying as often as they used to, and till now I'm still left on unread, so I'm still waiting for their reply. So honestly, I will hopefully make a whole video on like tips you can do in order to ensure this does not happen to you and to learn from my mistakes. But honestly, as with entrepreneurship, because I do feel like I did all my due diligence and I asked all the right questions, and I felt that I made a proper informed decision. But you can never be too prepared, and these things, no matter how much preparation you do, it still does happen sometimes. So if you're looking to manufacture and start a brand, I would say definitely be prepared that this is a possibility that will happen, that you will be left hanging. So yes, though it can be quite frustrating, let you guys know that mistakes do happen and these things happen. But you know, if this is something that you truly want to pursue, don't let it hinder you. So these are just a few of the first steps you can take if you're considering finding a manufacturer. And I think the first thing to consider is to decide what country you want to manufacture in. You know, depending on the type of products or garments you want to make, that could be a good starting point. So you can decide to manufacture locally, which is much faster shipping, and you also don't have to worry about like tariffs or shipping costs or shipping lead times. Or you can also manufacture overseas, which might be cheaper and you might get more variety, but obviously there's a lot of uncertainties when you're shipping things from overseas. And especially if you're like making payments overseas, sometimes if you know you unfortunately make a deposit to the wrong account, then you know your local police can't really do anything about that. So yeah, do make sure that you do proper research and you know try your best to ask for like a 50-50 payment, where it's 50% to start the production and 50% once it's done. Yes. And as for platforms, you can try, actually I've had the most luck with manufacturers just Google and be specific with what you're Googling. So for example, if you're looking to manufacture like swimsuits, so you can type into the Google search like swimsuit manufacturers in USA, and that's usually how I have been successful in finding some of the manufacturers that I am in contact with. And of course, you can also look on sites like Alibaba and you can check out the different manufacturers that are on there. But I would say that for a start, you should definitely have like a list of expectations or things that you require in a manufacturer in order to make the entire narrowing down process much easier and faster. And when you're in talks with a manufacturer, definitely vet their communications, their lead times, and as well as how well they understand your needs and your vision. And as always, if this sounds intimidating, don't worry, I totally get it, which is why I've previously already given options that you can consider if this is like something that is totally not the route that you want to go to. There's always print on demand, there's small batch runs, and even DIY and local seamstresses that you can work with. Now next is pricing and positioning. And to this, I would say that this is one of the most common mistakes, which is either underpricing or overpricing your pieces. Now, as a business, you need to price in a way that covers your production, your packaging, your label, your shipping, and your marketing, while also allowing for profits. As a rule of thumb, your retail price should be about 2.5 to 3 times that of your production cost, and this is just a gauge. It depends on like what you sell, what your brand positioning is, and all that. But I would say that I've seen a lot of small startup brands, I would say they kind of position themselves in the higher end markets, yet visually and through their brand messaging, it is very unclear why they are charging that amount of price, which is very different if you're like a legacy house like Dior or Chanel. Then the pricing is much different because you're buying into the culture, the legacy, the history, and all of that. But if you're a brand of this day and age and you're just starting out and you're charging hundreds of dollars for a dress, then you have to do your due diligence into ensuring that the quality is very well made, it's almost tailor-made, high-end, custom design, and just flattering fits and all that good stuff, which is actually what I'm trying to achieve, which is why I'm also very picky with my manufacturers. So yes, you can't just produce a average $5 hoodie and then mark it up to be $200 and $300 unless you have a very strong brand positioning and messaging. You have to remember that your audience won't just pay for the product, they pay for the brand, the experience, and the values. So you have to really ensure that all of these are aligned with what you truly want. If everything is cohesive and you're genuine in your brand's purpose and visuals and messaging, then that will speak to the right audience and the right audience will come to you. And next, we're reaching the end of this timeline, which is the launch prep. And that is basically everything to do with setting up your store and marketing. Also another not very fun thing for me. So this is where things get a little more real, where you will probably need a Shopify or a Wix store or Etsy. You'll probably need your own domain, which is basically like your own shop name. You will need product photos like mock-ups, lifestyle shots, flat layouts or flat layovers. What do you call those? Flat overlays, flats. You know what, the phrase has just slipped my mind, but you know what I'm talking about. The kinds where you just lay the t-shirt out on the floor where it's flat and you can just see the fitting and the cutting and all of that. And you will also probably need your brand voice copy, which is like your product descriptions, your about page, etc, etc. I think the biggest tip that I've seen a lot of people give is that you should start building your audience early. So you can start posting on TikTok, on Reels, on YouTube Shorts before you even launch. And this is a lot of work. I'm pretty sure you already know, but content takes a lot of time and sometimes it's a skill to it. It's definitely something that can be learned over time, but it's definitely something that you need to invest your time and your resources for. So I would say that if you're one person doing this all alone and you're not really keen on posting content, on putting yourself out there, showing off your designs, then I will let you know that it's going to be very hard, because unless you have a lot of upfront capital to spend in order to hire someone to help you do your content, usually as a startup and as a new brand, you are juggling all of these things alone, which forces you to wear a lot of hats, forces you to learn fast, and forces you to put yourself out there even when you're not the most comfortable with it. So yeah, I think a lot of the founders out there, they recommend that you start posting on TikTok, Reels, YouTube before you launch in order to help you build an audience and as kind of like a proof of concept, I guess. So yes, you should definitely talk about your journey, show the behind the scenes, talk about your struggles, let people feel like they are a part of it. People buy stories, not just stuff. Real talk, building a brand, a fashion brand will definitely test you and your limits. You will feel like a fraud, question if anyone cares, and wonder if you should just give up and be realistic. It's totally normal. The only difference between the people who make it and the people who don't, the ones who make it just keep going. So when you feel like stopping, you have to remember why you started. And if you watch this entire video and you've processed all the negatives, and if you've taken into consideration every possible thing that could possibly go wrong, and you still decide that this is the route that you want to take, if you feel like this is your true calling, then by all means go ahead. If it's something that you truly want to do, then it is something that you should pursue, and I would fully support you and cheer you on. So yes, stick to your routine, track your progress, celebrate the little wins, and take that action even if it's messy and imperfect. I hope this video helps shed light and give you a little more insight into what it's really like when you're trying to start a fashion brand or a product business. And as always, if you guys have any other questions or would like to know more about a certain topic, just leave it in the comments below and I'll be more than happy to do a full video elaborating on it. If you found this helpful, subscribe, comment down below what brand you're building and working on. I would love to support and cheer you on. Let's build our dream brands together. Until next time, take care of your heart, your mind, and your dreams. I'll see you in the next video very soon.